Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Aquarius, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for the week of February 17th to the 23rd. This week, Aquarius, we have the Align Your Life Oracle card. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Devil, Justice, the Magician, the Three of Cups, and Temperance. So we have some powerful major arcana here. 4 out of the 6 cards. The more major arcana, generally, the more significant the event or situation in a person's life, and the more linked it is to our life lessons, our karmic contracts, our soul journey, and the likes. So we also, the energies that we have here are big, guys. Devil, Justice, Magician. But we see this amazing shift from something that's been keeping you small, something you've been holding on to, something toxic, to bam, I'm in my power and I deserve justice. This has gone on too long. You know, we have a theme of coming back into balance, and well, you know what? Let the good times roll. That's what you're going to be opening up if you can transition through this. So Aquarius, before we go to the tarot, let's read out the Oracle card, Align Your Life. So it looks like this is going to bring you into, you know, back on track, back connected with your higher wisdom and aligned. So what is not aligned or needs to change? What in your life is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? We're cyclic beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth. Change is one of the only certainties in life. When you resist your cyclic nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be, but there comes a time when it is harder to hold on to this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are, to surrender to how we have been changed, to how we've changed, and align our life to that way of being. If you pull this card, you are being called to let go of who you once were, all the things that you don't want to find yourself by, the job, the relationship, and the mask you wore, to embrace who you truly are now. Wow, yeah, well, that's very fitting here, Aquarius, for the reading. So, yeah, absolutely. I feel that some of you have been, you know, resisting a cycle of change. Sometimes it's easier to hold on to situations that are keeping you small because of the fear of change, because, you know, change and transformation can be scary. We don't know what's going to happen. So sometimes we just, you know, prefer to keep ourselves stuck. So, yeah, obviously, though, we are resisting life when we do that, and we're definitely not living in alignment. Recent past, Four of Pentacles and the Devil. The Devil is that mask that you might have been wearing, or maybe it's somebody else's mask. Now, the Devil is a range of situations, guys, that can link to Devil energy, and it's a general reading, so it will be different for all of you. But let's just point out that we do have the Devil and the Magician in the same reading. Now, I know that the Magician, really, I'm feeling this is your step into power, but because they are in the same reading, some of you could have been dealing with somebody who is quite manipulative, maybe sort of a trickster, someone trying to trip you up, a trickster energy, maybe someone quite deceptive. That can be possible. Now, the Devil can be, you know, toxic relationships, can be codependency in a relationship, can be a boss or mentor or colleague at work who's trying to manipulate you or control you or keep you small in some way. We have the Three of Cups directly down from that as well. So some of you could be dealing with a third-party energy in a relationship, or, you know, another party in the workplace trying to vie for a promotion or something like that. Just the possibilities, guys. The Devil can be, you know, elements in our shadow side, addictions, you know, compulsions, those kinds of things, you know, or debt issues, gambling. Lots and lots of different explanations, but the lesson here is that by holding on to this energy and staying here, we definitely keep ourselves stuck in a cycle of negativity. I mean, these people here are the Lovers, and they are chained to the black box here, but those chains are loose enough that they could free themselves. But there's an element of staying there voluntarily. So you could ask yourself, you know, is there a situation in your life that's potentially toxic that you are staying in? You know, maybe the payoff, you know, for staying there is greater to you than the cost. So that could look like staying in a relationship because financially it's easier. You know, you'll be in a worse situation financially if you leave. It could look like, you know, staying in the relationship because you're codependent, obviously it's a lot easier to live when you've got two people handling childcare or just the daily business, and that can be a reason to stay in a situation. So, the workplace, it can be hanging on to that job just for monetary gain, even though it's making you miserable. So lots and lots of different reasons why you might actually choose to stay bound to this toxicity, to the devil, to the inner demons that we carry. But this is not sustainable long time in the long run, Aquarius, and that's why we see the bat wings on the devil, because these situations slowly drain our life force, and when we, have our life force drained, we're absolutely not connected with our higher self. We can get off our life path, and we're definitely not in alignment. So it's really important to release yourself from these binds, release yourself from what's not working. We have the Four of Pentacles, which for me is the indicator of a sense of being stuck or stagnant in this situation. And yes, with those pentacles, the situation could strongly link to finances, financial matters, or, the home. Some of you might have to move homes, or break up a home, or, divorce and separate assets as part of letting go of this toxic energy. So all reasons why we do hold on. I think that releasing this devil situation in some way is going to shake your foundation, maybe lead to some sense of instability for a while, whether that's internal or external. But the only way, guys, to get to, a greater gain, to get to the next chapter of your life, is to let go and go through that period where things might be a little bit unstable for a while. The Four of Pentacles for me also talks about self-esteem and really recognizing your own value. Sometimes these situations, when they're toxic, can really have an impact on confidence and self-esteem, which makes it even harder to get out of. So, really you need to wake up to your own power, your own sense of value. And I see that happening this week, Aquarius. Justice and the Magician. What an amazing combination. I mean, justice comes into a reading, guys, when a fair and just modification needs to occur in a situation to bring the universal scales back into balance. Now, the universal scales can be our karma. Some of you may have had just a jolly hard run. Could have been going on for years. And the idea is that, now the tables are about to turn. The score is about to be evened. And it evens for the person in terms of a karmic equation who it should, not for the person who wants it, or not for the person who can try and manipulate it to go their way. This is all about achieving a victory for the person who, is worthy of that victory. Justice can indicate that it's a good time to get legal advice, to know your rights. That could mean digging out your work contract, seeing, the path you need to go through if you're laying some kind of complaint, or if you're thinking about leaving your job, resigning. In the home front, it could be, divorce papers. It could be your property agreement, finding out whether you can break a lease, all of those kinds of things. But the Magician, I see this as like, it really is, when it's not, in relation to a trickster energy with the devil, the Magician on its own, is which I'm really seeing in this reading, is kind of like the antithesis of the devil. This is somebody in their power, in their true power, whereas the devil is somebody who needs to take power from others, who needs to drain others' life force. But the Magician is somebody who has awakened to the fact that they have all the tools at their disposal to create and manifest whatever they want in their life, and that awakening really unlocks your true potential, Aquarius, and from there you can create, real value, real quality, real abundance. You can expand these pentacles. You don't need to hold on, because you realize that actually you can keep on creating and generating your own wealth internally and externally in your life. There's the saying with the Magician, as above, so below. So it's about getting yourself into alignment internally, so that then your external world starts to reflect that. So you'll find that once you shift your vibration, once you start releasing this situation, bringing it to justice, having that hard conversation, leaving that toxic partner or friend, leaving that job if you can. That's when you shift internally, and that's when you start to attract the people and the situations that are a true match for you after you've gone through that shift. So it's a very powerful combination. And you're really, beginning to wake up to the fact that, hey, you know what? Maybe somebody has been, stealing my magic, and it's time for me to realize that I am my own magician and I can turn this around. And in the near future, Temperance and the Three of Cups. Well, first of all, Temperance is another indicator of needing to bring things into balance, Aquarius. But this time it's more about your emotional state, your mental, physical, and emotional state. Temperance is about recalibrating after a period where you may have been very out of balance. Some of you might have even, experienced health issues or fatigue, things like that. This is about healing, restoring, regenerating. And there's an element of divine guidance around you as you go through this. And this angel has the waters of life, your, Aquarian emotions in these cups. And she's doing that internal alchemy, that internal magic. And the more she restores and rebalances, the higher the sun rises in the sky, indicating a new beginning, a new chapter, a new dawn. And as that sun rises, the path forward and out of this darker time starts to reveal itself, right? So it's about doing the work. And for those that do the work, will be rewarded and will be led forward into a beautiful new chapter. The angel has the triangle here on her gown, and for me, the sides of the triangle are the mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And as we balance all of those elements of ourselves to become truly healthy and healed, that's when we become stable and secure, but stable in our own right, not stable and secure by holding on tightly and being fear-driven. And it doesn't matter what side of this triangle is pushed, it is the strongest, most stable structure. So, we need to really work on all three of those areas, bring them into balance. And if we feel one slipping, we continue doing the work in that area, so we become that stable structure. And once you've gone through that process, Aquarius, I just keep hearing that song, Let the Good Times Roll, Three of Cups here. You know what, I just think there is going to be cause to celebrate, and I feel like you're going to be feeling much lighter after releasing that toxicity. The Three of Cups shows people that are celebrating the harvest, celebrating the release of toxicity, and celebrating the fact that they've planted new seeds and they're starting to manifest in a new direction. And they know that because they have done the preparation, they've planted the seeds, they've nurtured them, they've gotten rid of the pests, bye-bye, that they will get a harvest in the next season when it's time to reap. This is the promise of that. It may also be a great time to get out there with friends and family, have a laugh, just be more joyful and playful and enjoy life after a time that may have been a little bit heavier, Aquarius. So it's actually a beautiful energy here, really connecting with like-minded people that are in alignment with you. So Aquarius, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading and I wish you all the best with it this week. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment because I always love to know how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here next week for another reading.